Hi everyone, I'm Mia and I'm going to talk about how you can wrap and use shapers and scarves when you have hearing equipment that takes up space behind your ear. Typically hearing aids or hearing cochlear implants. So I'm going to be using a signature shaper from Wrapunzel to use in the demo, but the tips should apply to any shaper that's available on the market at the moment. So first off, you got to consider whether you want to have a ear covered look or ear uncovered look. The easiest and quickest way to do it is the ear covered look, because you can literally just cover your ears with the shaper and then cover your ears with the scarf as well. So this tends to be the quickest, but the thing you have to remember is to make the velvet band be loose, looser than you might think you need it to be, because the hard plastic in your hearing equipment is going to press against your skull, against your earlobe, and if you have to wear your wrap for a while, say you have to wear it for the 8 hours you're at work or wear it all day, you are going to be feeling the pain, and it's going to give you a headache, and it's not going to make wearing your wraps enjoyable. So make your wrap looser. If you have Velcro, you can adjust it, and if you have a sewed in band that's one piece, you can get the velvet wet and stretch it out a little bit to make it looser so that it can accommodate your hearing equipment. Once you have it loose, and you can easily lift it up off of your hearing equipment and it's staying in place the way you want it, now you can wrap your scarf however style you want. If you want to have the shaper be behind your equipment, you can do that with the hearing aid very easily. All you gotta do is get the band, scooch back a little bit, and put it in front. Or if you wanted to have it behind your ear, but on top of your hearing equipment, simply stick it on there. With the cochlear implant, that tends to be a bit trickier because of the wire and the magnet. So what you can do is you can scooch the band back and have it sit on top or in front of your cochlear implant. But if you want to have the velvet band be behind your implant completely, you have to make a slit in your shaper fabric and or the velvet, depending on where you sit your shaper on your head and where you have the magnet in your skull. So to do that, once you cut a slit, and if you want, you can hand sew the edges of that slit so that it doesn't tear further into the fabric. And then, like the hearing aid, you just sit it in front of the velvet, and then you take the magnet, slide it to where it needs to go until you can hear, and then there you have it. If you're worried about the equipment poking through the scarf, don't. Because even with a thin 2-in-1, your equipment is not going to show through like weird bumps sitting outside of your shaper, because your ears will lift up the scarf from your equipment and make it not really noticeable. See? All you can see are the bump that looks like the ears. You don't see the hearing equipment at all. And that's how you can have the scarf covering your ear look with the shaper on or off your equipment. If you want the completely uncovered look, you can also do that as well. With the hearing aid, all you have to do is stick the scarf behind your ear or behind the equipment, just like with the velvet band. With the cochlear implant though, you cannot stick the scarf behind the cochlear implant. You're not going to be able to get the magnet strength to go through both the shaper and the scarf, and I doubt you want to be cutting slits into your scarf. So what you can do instead is scooch the scarf up and have it sit over your equipment and behind your ear, or have it sit on top of your equipment. one thing I would recommend is, even if you have a preference for the scarf covering look, keep this scarf wrap loose, at least on that initial wrap, because you don't want the scarf to be the one pressing against your hearing equipment and causing the discomfort. And also, once you have your scarf wrap in place and you don't really want to fiddle with your wrap any more than you have to, you can still leave that first layer loose so that you can access your hearing equipment. For me, once I have my hearing equipment in my head, I'm done for the day. It just sits there. But a lot of times, a lot of other people have to fiddle with it throughout the day to adjust the volume or change the battery. Or if you have to use an FM unit, then you might have to have access to your hearing aid as well to attach the equipment. And so what I would recommend if you have to fiddle with your hearing aid or your hearing equipment throughout the day is that you leave this loose and you just have this one initial layer covering up your hearing equipment. That way it's the thinnest, most flexible layer. You're easily able to lift it up, do what you need to do, change the battery, press the buttons, and then you can easily smooth it back down and give you that scarf covered look when you don't need to touch your hearing aid. Also, if you find that your scarf is muffling the noise somewhat and you need to be able to hear as clearly as possible, like in a meeting or if you have to talk to somebody, you can also do the same trick of pushing up your scarf and having it sit on top or behind your equipment temporarily so that the microphone is exposed. And then when you're done, or if you're in a quieter area, or if you don't really need to hear something that well, you can simply cover things back up and you're back to your smooth look of having ears covered. And if you want them uncovered, just simply push it up and leave it there. And that's all you have to do. As far as scarf styles go, you should be able to do any style you want with the scarves that is shown on this channel, shown on other channels. There's no particular style that you have to avoid for the sake of your hearing equipment. Some styles that tend to put more fabric in the front might make a noise muffling issue, so just experiment with different things and see if you are noticing a sound quality issue or not. If you're not, then you're good to go. If you are, then try to have the scarf layers be just off of your microphone. Have the second layers be behind your hearing equipment so that the microphone has the least amount of fabric covering it as possible. And other than that, you should be good to go. Just experiment to see which one is most comfortable and gives you the best accommodations for your hearing equipment. And if you have any further questions, let the Wrapunzel ladies know. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.